It's late 2005. The wind has died down. What's left is darkness, cold, and a silence that screams. People huddle, shivering, waiting for help that won't come. Everything looks like chaos, a disaster area. But underneath that fear, a harder truth was burning. A simple fire could have saved them all. We're showing you what they wished they knew when the world went dark. Number 1. Reading animal tracks. This isn't just a hobby for old-timey hunters. When the grocery store shelves are bare, the land is your only option, and the ground leaves clues about what's out there. Every track tells a story. A deer track, with its 2 pointed toes, means a potential meal is nearby. But a round, dog-like print with claw marks? That could be a coyote or a wolf. That tells you what might be hunting you. It's about reading the ground like a newspaper. You can see which way an animal was headed and how fast it was moving. This is basic situational awareness that's been almost completely forgotten. But knowing what's on the ground is only half the battle. What you do next is even more important, and that brings us to number 2. Number 2. Identifying edible wild plants. Modern society teaches you that dandelions are just weeds. Your great-grandparents knew they were food. The ground beneath your feet is a wild grocery store, full of things like cattails, clover, and wild onions that most people have been trained to ignore. But this lost knowledge comes with a deadly serious warning. For every safe plant, there's a poisonous look-alike that can shut down your organs in a matter of hours. This is why the first rule of foraging is the only rule that matters. If you are not 100% certain what it is, you do not eat it. A little hunger is always better than being dead. But even with a full stomach, you're still exposed. When night falls and the temperature plummets, that's when the real test begins. Number 3. Building emergency shelters. You can survive 3 weeks without food, but in bad weather, you might only last 3 hours without shelter. Exposure is one of the fastest killers out there. Your body just can't keep itself warm against relentless wind, rain, and freezing temperatures. After disasters like Hurricane Katrina, people learned this the hard way. Imagine if something like that hit in the dead of winter. Shelter would become the number 1 priority. And it doesn't take a fancy tent. Most people don't know that a simple weatherproof poncho, an emergency space blanket, and some twine is enough to build a shelter that will save your life. But keeping the cold out is only half the battle. You also have to create heat in. Number 4. Purifying water naturally. That fire you just built does more than keep you from freezing. It's also the most reliable way to make questionable water safe to drink. Don't be fooled by a clear-looking stream. It can be packed with invisible bacteria and parasites that will leave you sick and totally dehydrated. The old-timers knew that bringing water to a rolling boil for just 1 minute kills pretty much everything nasty inside. No fire. If you've got a clear plastic bottle, you can use the sun. Fill it, lay it flat in direct sunlight for a full day, and the sun's UV rays will do the work for you. Now you have shelter and water covered. But all the safe water in the world won't help if you don't know where you are. Number 5. Starting fires in wet conditions. The government doesn't want you to know how critical this is. After disasters like Hurricanes Katrina and Rita, people learned fast. When the grid is down, fire is non-negotiable. It's the engine that produces the heat you need to survive. But what happens when everything is soaked? Your matches are useless. That's why you need a flint and magnesium starter. Magnesium burns at an insane 5,400 degrees, so hot. It makes its own oxygen and can light up even damp wood. Just remember the old-timers trick. Don't chip at the flint. Scrape the steel down it firmly to create a shower of sparks. Now you have fire, shelter, and water. But all the survival skills in the world won't help you if you're heading in the wrong direction. Number 6. Using a compass and map. Your phone's GPS is a leash. It keeps you dependent on a satellite that can be shut down in a second. But a map and compass? That's true independence. The skill is simple, but they've made sure you forgot it. First, orient your map. Lay it flat and turn it until the map's north arrow lines up with your compass needle. Now the paper world matches the real world. Then, just point your compass at a distant landmark in the direction you need to go, lock in that bearing, and walk. That's it. You're now off their grid. But navigating to safety is one thing. What happens when you can't move and you need rescue to find you? Number 7. Recognizing dangerous weather changes. Sometimes, the thing that stops you dead in your tracks isn't a cliff or a river, it's the sky itself. They want you glued to a weather app, another digital leash. But nature gives you all the warnings you need for free. Forget the radar. Look up. Are the clouds getting darker and taller? Is a flat, ominous-looking shelf cloud rolling in? That's a serious warning. Pay attention to the wind. If it's been blowing all day and suddenly goes dead calm, that's your final cue to find shelter now. A sudden temperature drop is another giveaway a storm is about to hit. This isn't folklore, it's forgotten science. But knowing a storm is coming is one thing. What you do to get found during that storm is what separates survivors from statistics. Number 8. Basic trapping techniques. Getting rescued is the goal, but you have to stay alive long enough to be found. That means getting calories. Hunting is what you see in movies, but it burns precious energy. Trapping is the forgotten art of smart survival. It's about working smarter, not harder. You can set a simple snare on a game trail with a bit of cordage, or build a basic deadfall trap with just a few sticks and a heavy rock. These traps work for you while you're busy with other critical tasks. The key is placement and patience. But this isn't a sport, it's about staying alive. And when you're out there alone, even a small injury can become a huge problem. Number 9. Emergency navigation by the sun and stars. Your phone is dead. Your GPS is a paperweight. The government taught you to rely on satellites, but what happens when they go dark? For thousands of years, our ancestors navigated the entire planet using just the sky. During the day, the sun is your guide. For a quick compass, jam a stick in the ground. Mark its shadow tip. Wait 15 minutes, then mark the new tip. That first mark is west, the second is east. At night, find the Big Dipper. The 2 stars at the end of its cup point right to the North Star. That star always sits above true north. It's the original compass, and it never breaks. But knowing where you're going is only half the battle. The final skill on our list is what you do when you're injured, alone, and every second counts. Number 10. Making cordage from natural materials. That high-tech paracord in your bag will eventually run out. What then? The system hopes you're helpless. But nature provides its own rope, and it's everywhere. The inner bark of trees like cedar and willow, or even common plants like stinging nettle, can be processed into incredibly strong fibers. You just have to know how to look. The technique is simple. Take 2 bundles of fiber, twist them in the same direction, then wrap them over each other in the opposite direction. This reverse wrap method creates a cord strong enough for almost anything. Use it to lash a shelter together, set a trap, or even secure a splint. It's the forgotten skill that literally ties everything else together. Remember those dark days after hurricanes like Katrina? People were totally on their own. No power, no help coming. They quickly learned that simple skills, like starting a fire even when it's wet, weren't just useful. They were the difference between life and death. We've covered 10 forgotten ways to take care of yourself when the world goes dark. These aren't just old stories, they're your personal toolkit for survival. So, beyond fire, what other critical backwoods tricks will truly save your life when help isn't coming? Don't let these lessons disappear again. Hit that subscribe button and stay with me to keep this vital knowledge alive and prepare for whatever comes next.